Hello everyone, Nick here. This is the first of a new series of reviews on the BBC and Netflix drama TV series The Serpent, which is based on real events surrounding murderer Charles Sobiji. I'm not sure how you pronounce the surname, but it's about him. I knew absolutely nothing about this man or what happened with him and the cases surrounding him and his associates and the investigation into them. So, yeah, this is just coming from the point of view of someone who went in blind into the TV series. I did a quick bit of research before doing this review, but I'm not going to touch too much about it because I'm not terribly well known in this topic. So I'm just going to talk about the TV series as a television series, as opposed to how it captures the real life events. So the first episode, none of these episodes have titles, so there's just going to be episode 1, episode 2, etc., like the War of the Worlds miniseries. So with episode 1, we get introduced to Charles and his main accomplice slash girlfriend, Marie Andre Leclerc, played brilliantly by the always wonderful Jenna Coleman, who this was probably the main reason why I wanted to watch this series, was because Jenna Coleman was in this, playing our main female character slash our main female antagonist of the series. As this series, despite being about the Charles Sobiji, we can technically say he is the villain of this story. He's the villain of his own story, or at least in the public perception, anyway. So Marie-Andre Leclerc would be the villainess. But yeah, we get introduced to them in this episode, at the start of this episode, and we see them meeting up with people and attempting to do business deals with them, as Charles is a jewelry expert, and when they want to steal money from people or want to pay people out because they're rich or pompous or something, or they make friends with some people, like this Dutch couple who are important to the story, who decline to go back to Holland and sell, or the Netherlands, I should say. Sorry, not Holland. Go back to the Netherlands and sell on some diamonds for twice the price they purchased from Leclerc and Sobiji. So with those people, they will kill them and probably steal their money or something. As they seem to have this tendency, certainly Charles Sobiji and a couple of other associates have this tendency to kill people for reasons. And for the Dutch couple, it's because they declined the offer to take some jewels back to the Netherlands and sell them on. But some other people, it's because they were rich and pompous and they can steal some money. But for other people, I'm not quite sure. Maybe the TV series doesn't make it entirely clear. For some people, maybe Charles Sobiji and his team, because I'm not necessarily a team. There's a few other people working with him. There's this other guy at least alongside Marie. So there's at least 3 of them. There might be more, or there might be more as the series goes on. But they just kind of kill people and rob them or something, and then use their passports. I don't think it's made specifically clear in the first 2 episodes why they do this, apart from a few specific people, like the first. I'll get around to episode 2 in a bit, but like the first people Marie sees, Charles poison, in episode 2, and also the Dutch couple, as I mentioned, because they declined the offer to sell these jewels on in the Netherlands. And it's because of the disappearance and later revelation of the deaths of this couple that launch a Dutch embassy worker whose name escapes me, Herman Kiksterboff, might be. I think I could be wrong. He launches an investigation, or at least a private investigation, because it's not really his sort of work. The Dutch embassy isn't really supposed to be getting into this work. And the police don't really want to get involved, or don't think they should get involved, or don't have a reason to. So this Dutch embassy person does a private investigation into the disappearance and later the deaths of the Dutch couple, and also the disappearances of other people that have been going around, and trying to find trying to find Charles Sobergy. Actually, episode 2 does have him try and find Leclerc, but he doesn't know who she is when trying to find her. I'll get around to episode 2 in a bit, but episode 1, it's a good start. I think it is a bit slow in places, but it's a good start setting up our characters for the series and showing us some of the victims being poisoned and killed in the story. We start off with one of the victims of Charles and Marie killing a victim. And of course, most of this episode focuses on them meeting the Dutch couple and eventually befriending them, and then trying to get them to take some jewels to Holland, to the Netherlands to sell on. When that couple refuses due to money issues, the Charles then has them killed, apparently in a more brutal fashion than what we see on screen. But as not just they don't just get poisoned, but they're apparently burnt alive. But that's more revealed in the next episode. We also get introduced to Herman, the Dutch embassy person, who starts off this investigation. First of all, into the disappearance of the Dutch couple. He's going to find out about their deaths in the next episode. I'm not really going to talk too much about the plots. It's not terribly easy for me to talk about the plots, but I think it's handled well for a television drama. One thing I'm not so keen on is that we keep going back and forth between different time periods. Like we get something in like 4 months prior to the events of the investigation, for instance. We keep going back and forth every now and again. It kind of feels a bit distracting, and it's tricky to tell where we are and what's going on, especially as when we add another victim to the story with an American woman who's going to Tibet to become a nun. But before she does, she has one night, the last couple of days of fun before she goes off to be a nun for the rest of her life. And then she gets poisoned by Charles. That story is added in following on from when Charles and Marie met the Dutch couple, which takes place later on. And it kind of feels like we're going all over the place with these stories, and it feels a bit jarring. The same problem happens in episode 2, and I expect this is going to happen for the rest of the series. Which it does feel a bit awkward and a bit strange. I do like how what it shows as the dates, not necessarily the dates themselves, but the 4 months later, 4 months earlier, etc. Not just 4, but 2, 10, etc. The way that it's done on like a plane departure board, it's an airport departure board or a railway station departure board. It's pretty interesting, but I do think the back and forth between the dates is a little bit jarring. Besides that, I think this is a well-structured story in the different segments of the episodes. I think what we get is pretty interesting for the story. The acting is great, especially the actor playing Charles Sobergy, Jenna Coleman, of course, and the guy playing the embassy guy. Also, Tim McInnerny's in this. He was a surprise reveal in the series. I didn't expect him to be in this series, so I was pleasantly surprised. He plays a Belgian embassy person who eventually starts, or at least later leads the Dutch one onto the trail of Leclerc, not Leclerc, onto Sobergy. I'm going to get those names mixed up, aren't I? So overall, I think the Serpent episode 1 is a good story. It's got a couple of slow bits, and of course the whole back and forth between different time ones is a bit jarring. It might have been better if each episode focused on specific bits in the past alongside the investigation stuff. So maybe this one could have focused on the Dutch couple disappearing, which prompts the whole investigation first. Episode 2 focuses on the earlier killings or poisonings. Episode 3 moves a few months later. Episode 4 moves back a bit, and so on. So each episode could have focused on different time periods instead of back and forth all the time in every episode. Can't really speak for episodes 3 to 8 just yet. It's an 8-episode series. All of them are up on iPlayer, but I'm going to be watching them. I didn't watch them on BBC One, but I did watch them first on iPlayer. But I'm going to try and watch them weekly, similar to the BBC One ones. So those who are watching on the television don't get spoiled. I might even try and catch the live viewing on BBC iPlayer of the episodes themselves, if I can. But yeah, I'm not going to speak about episodes 3 to 8 until I get to their reviews, because I haven't watched those yet. I've just seen the first 2. But episode 1, I think, is handled well. It's just that, and the same problem with episode 2 is that it goes back and forth so much in the actual episode, and I wouldn't be surprised if episodes 3 to 8 were exactly the same, or something similar. If you've seen episodes 3 to 8, if you've even watched this series, then you can tell me down below if it is like this. That would be a spoiler. What might be spoilers if one of them does turn out to be a bit different, like maybe episode 8 or 7 if they're around the trial, which this is all leading up to. The trial of the killers is any different to what's come before. On an execution standpoint, it is a very good looking and a pretty well executed dramatization. I like some of the kind of older style filmed footage alongside the more modern style, and it captures the 1970s and Asia really nicely. It looks pretty cool. So, on the whole, I think The Serpent Episode 1 is a very good start to this drama series. I will be giving it an 8 out of 10. Yeah, I'm not very well known in the whole details about what's going on. I'm just judging this as a television series. But with episode 1, it's a good start to this series. Right, that's it from me. I think I babbled a bit too long on this episode than I ought to have done. Thank you for watching. Next time will be the episode 2 review of The Serpent. I'll see you guys then. Goodbye. Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the Nicholas Payne YouTube channel. Playing our female main villainess, or main character. They would just, after all of, so from all of those people, so there might be more as the series goes on. I'll get around to episode 2 in a bit, but episode 1. Now I'm not really. I can't really speak too much. Now I can't really. I do, but from episode 1, it's a pretty good start to